Hey, what's up everybody? Another episode of No Walk Outdoors. Today I wanted to go over my plot screening. This is something I've did probably the last few years in certain spots, and it's just an awesome tool when it comes to whether it's trying to keep the deer from seeing something or from people seeing the deer. In this case right here is my backyard actually. And the purpose of this, I want these deer to feel safe behind me, and the food plot's actually soybeans right on the other side. And I want them, if they come out here to feed and me or my wife comes home, I don't want them to see us coming up the driveway. And I'm sure they'll still hear us, but I think it'll ease their nerves a little bit. But there's lots of different things when it comes to screening. There's Egyptian wheat, which I use the most, and then there's miscanthus I know of guys using, but with miscanthus, it's a little more expensive to plant, and you're planting like rootstock, not by seed. Like this stuff's seed, and it'll die this fall, and that's it. So you got to replant it every year. But like the pro to miscanthus is once you do have it established, you just kind of got to maintain it, and then it'll come back year after year. So probably long term, miscanthus might be better. But for me, it's just kind of nice because I'm always changing the ideas around these food plots and where I might change up. Like next year, I'm thinking about doing corn back here. So I probably won't really worry as much about doing some sort of screening. But I also got back here, I have just grain sorghum, which grain sorghum, it'll get probably 4 foot high maybe with ideal conditions. So it's not really huge, but it's enough of a wall that I got 3 different like probably 50 yards by 10 yards wide strips of them around here, and those will just kind of help the deer. It'll make it seem like a bigger property than it actually is. So like this is just right here at my house, and we only got 8.5 acres. But I want to make sure that especially during like the rut, if a buck comes in here, I don't want him to be able to see the entire property with just peeking up over the hill. I want him to have to come and travel through all my food plots to look for does. And then that'll just end up in hopefully more success, and then just holding deer on your property more. And then also too, you'll run into that point that if you get too many deer in a food plot, you'll see does, they'll start to fight. And so if you can kind of give them all their own space and kind of pile them up, that's going to be a lot better in your long run goal. There's other ways too. So like around here this spring, I transplanted a row of cedar trees, and then next year I'll do another row of cedar trees. And then eventually that's kind of my long-term screening. So hopefully in like 5 years, I might not even have to plant this stuff because if my cedar trees get tall enough. And then too, like there's other ways of blocking access or making walls so the deer can't see through your whole property. You can hinge cut trees, and all that is where you take a tree and you drop it, but you still keep part of the layer. I want to say it's a cambium layer. I might be wrong on that. But you lay the tree over, but it's still connected, so you don't cut a clean stump. You cut it probably 3/4 of the way, and then you let it drop on its own, and that'll be enough to keep that tree alive. And then that'll act as bedding area. It'll make it so hopefully they don't see you maybe when you're walking in there because it's thick cover. And then also I noticed the few trees that I did that out back here, that the deer they're browsing on all those leaves just because they're at eye level or head level for them now. But no, like I said, and the other good thing about screens is it allows you to access. So like my plan this fall, when I go to access this, I'll be able to walk all the way around the property, and I'll use the screening for one way to get to the back. And then there's kind of a little hillside, and I'll sneak around the back side of that. And then hopefully I can get all the way back there to the tree stand or blind without letting any deer know that I'm there. But like I said, this Egyptian wheat, it's pretty easy. Your springtime rolls around, you want to go in and rough the ground up, and then cover it up. Or if you got real fluffy snow, if you use like a rototiller and it leaves that dirt real powdery, you can probably get away with just broadcasting and then letting the rain do the rest. But this, I just ran a light disc over, I spread my seed, and then I pulled a little drag over just to kind of get a little better seed to soil contact. But like I said, it's an awesome, this stuff was actually from Domain also. Incognito. It comes in a little plastic container, and like I said, it's doing awesome so far. And I did put fertilizer on right off the get-go, but no, it's doing good. I'm 6'2", and a lot of this stuff I guess is probably around that 8 to 9 foot right now, and we're right here at the end of July, so it's going to do what I need it to do. And I think it's probably 10 foot wide, and that should be more than enough even once it dries up and dies. I think this winter it'll still be enough to block the deer's view from us and then block us from seeing them. So it's just a real awesome tool. Like I said, if we're going around food plots, making the deer feel more safe when they're out there feeding, and then also it allows you to kind of get around the property without being seen. And like I said, there's a lot more ways than just this when it comes to screening. Whether you go drop some trees along the edge to allow you to be able to kind of get by there without getting seen, or like I said, I'm using kind of that grain sorghum as a kind of a shield too, just to kind of make the property, the deer, they won't be able to see quite up around it. They'll, to an extent they will, I guess, but using that. And then like I said, the cedars right here, I like cedars a lot. They're kind of a junk tree to most people, but they're awesome habitat. They have good windbreaks for the deer. Pheasants, I see them a lot of times like to go underneath cedar trees. So, but no, I just figured I'd get out today and get another video out to you guys. But thanks for tuning in again, and hopefully here try to get you some hunt videos. Probably September 1st, I believe, is when dove season will open up. I'll probably try to get a video on that. And then like I said, I'm most excited for just trying to bring you guys some hunts. Like I said, my biggest passion is probably bow hunting whitetails. So hopefully bring you some of that. And like I said, always make sure to like and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with the farm here and how the food plots are progressing. So I'll go ahead and add in some clips here at the end of just going around the plot here and kind of showing you what this stuff really looks like. So thanks for tuning in.